Hi there, it's Tiffany from Daisy Farm Crafts, and today I am going to be teaching you a pattern called the Ocean Waves Throw. It's from Yarnspirations. I found this. Sorry for my printer, but you can see these beautiful little ripples in this pattern. And however, this was made with a Red Heart Super Saver, but I wanted to make it as a baby blanket. So I'm substituting the yarn and I am using Bernat Softee Baby Cotton. This is approximately a 36 by 36 inch blanket. And so far, I will use 3 skeins of white and 1 each of this color is Aqua Mist. And this beautiful tan is called Feathered Gray. So I'm making this as a baby gift, and I have like an ocean themed baby book to give my new little grand nephew, great nephew, I guess you would say. And so I found this pattern, and it was just kind of a variation of a ripple pattern that I thought looked really pretty. I wanted to try, and I'm really happy that I did. I really have enjoyed making this. So I just did a little bit of different stripe sequencing. I've got like started with 2 rows of white down here, and then every color is just 2 rows. Then there are 4 rows in between, and then I gradually went to 6 rows of white, and then back to 4 rows, and I'm almost done, and I'll end with the 2 rows. And then I plan on just working 1 or 2 rounds of all single crochet around the edge. So I mainly want to keep this ripple effect. But let me get started and show you the basic pattern. It's really easy and fun to do. Okay, so this pattern does not come with a pattern repeat. So when that happens, it's I did try chaining 139, but it still was it was too short for what I wanted to go. So this is what I generally do, is I will just make the chain even longer than I want it to be. So like I want the blanket to be 34 inches. So I chained it to be more like 38 inches because and then I work the pattern, and with whatever chains are left over, then I just simply undo the chains and I call it good. That's just kind of my tip for when there isn't a pattern repeat that you can use to make it however long you want. So I'll show you how I do that with just this base chain. So I'm not going to give you a number or anything. We're just going to work a couple repeats of the pattern and then see where we're at, and I'll show you how to undo the chains, and it works out. And sometimes it can just save you a lot of headache from counting and then being wrong or worried about it. So, but for this pattern, if you happen to be using a 4-weight, this is Red Heart Super Saver. They did chain 139, and I don't know how big the blanket is 42 by 67 inches. So that's for this pattern. Okay, so I've made a bunch of chains, and let's see where we get for this repeat. So for the first stitch, it's a double crochet 2 together. We will begin in the 4th chain from the hook. So not the loop on the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Now yarn over again, and we're going to work into the next chain, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. So that's our first double crochet 2 together, and we worked across 2 chains, and it says to do that 3 times. So let's do that again. Insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull through 2, and then pull through all 3 loops. And let's do that one more time. Okay, now they want us to 3 double crochet into each of the next 3 chains. So it'll be a total of 9 double crochets. So in this first chain, let's work 3. And in the next one, work 3. And in the next one, work 3. So in the pattern that read 3 double crochet in next 3 chains. Okay, so now we have a total of 9. That's kind of our first little peek right there. Now we're going to work the double crochet 2 together 6 times. So the double crochet 2 together, we're always yarning, pulling up 2, and it means to insert your hook into the next chain. So we're working 2 chains as 1 stitch while combining the double crochet together. You can also work a double crochet 2 together in 1 stitch, and then it kind of becomes a cluster. But when it doesn't specifically say cluster, we know that we're working across 2 chains. Plus, this is what's going to give us kind of that, the valley of our work. There, I've made 4 of them. Here's 5. And here is 6. Okay. Now, can you guess what we do again? 3 double crochets into each of the next 3 chains. And pretty much that is the pattern. Throughout the whole blanket is this series of 6 double crochet 2 togethers followed by 3 double crochets worked in to each of the next 3 chains for the peak. So let's hopefully I made enough chains to complete this, at least one section of this. I think I did. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you know what? I only worked 2 in this one. And that is one thing I would make sure and do is always count and make sure I made my 9 double crochets here that make up the peak. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, yes. All right, and how you finish the row. So you just you repeat that across, it will say in the pattern, you repeat that across till you get to the end. And in the last, after this last peak made, you're gonna go back and kind of just mimic what we did at the start, where we switched to just working 3 double crochet 2 togethers. So here's 1, here's 2, and here's 3. And after you make those final 3 together, you just 1 double crochet into the final chain. Now if you chained 139, that will be your last stitch, but if you're like me and you're just kind of going to do it your own length and you have some chains left over, no worries. So all you have to do is just, you know, sometimes I use a tapestry needle to get it started. Is just, you know, undo this the best you can. I think if I had it even longer, I would even cut it, but it shouldn't be too hard. Just pick this apart and you just undo that tail. Here we go. Keep it really loose and you're just gonna undo the chain and undo those stitches at the end. So that's something easy to do when you don't know the pattern repeat. So I've got 4 stitches to undo. So let's work on row 2, and that is we will chain 3 and turn our work. And now you will, this chain 3 counts as this very first double crochet. So we're going to skip this first stitch right here. So if you count down 1, 2, 3, 4, that essentially is the first stitch of the row. So when it says double crochet 3 together, we're starting in this stitch over here. So we're gonna go, here's 1, double crochet 2 together, sorry, across, you know, but we're going to repeat it and do it 3 times. There's 2, and here's 3. Okay, now this is where another thing is I would stop and check. You want to make sure that your 3 double crochets you're working across 3 stitches is working into that center cluster of 3 double crochets from the previous row. So you'll be able to tell this is the peak, and that's where you want to make sure it fans out in those 3 stitches. So we work our 9 double crochets all around the top of this little peak here. Okay, now we want to work in the pattern where it says double crochet 2 together, 6 times. And that will take us all across the valley. And your 6th one should end just before the peak of the previous row. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can see here's my peak of the 3 double crochets. So let's work 3 into the first double crochet, 3 into the center double crochet of the 3 that are worked into 1 stitch from the previous row. 1, 2, 3. And 3 in the last. And then say, you know, we were working on the long blanket, you would go back and do this, the 6 double crochet 2 together. But now since we're at the end of the row, this is where we switch, and at the end of each row, we just work 2 double crochet together, or a total of 3 double crochet 2 together. It's a mouthful. So here's the second one, and here's the third one. And in the turning chain, we just work 1 double crochet. So that kind of matches what we started with. We started with chain 3, which counted as a double crochet, and that's why we skipped over that first stitch. Here's our 3 double crochet 2 together clusters, our series of 9 double crochets, then we do 6, 9, and then 3. And look at our little ripple. Okay, now in this pattern, on the next row, you would be changing color, and then they want you to work in the back loops only. And I opted not to do that in my blanket. I just kept repeating this pattern over and over. I didn't worry about working in back loops. I always worked under both loops. So that's an option. And so here I know that this is the first stitch, so I skip over. You can get your counting off if you start that double crochet 2 together in this first stitch. You gotta do it in the second one. And like I said, just make sure you're lining up so that it lands, that you're doing the 9 double crochets across the peak from the previous row. Okay, so that's basically the pattern. It's just such a nice, easy. I loved how the ripples were really steep and just kind of more, I mean, I have a simple ripple pattern, and it has a series of double crochets, and so it kind of makes it more gentle wave. And these are more, just a little bit more up and down, but still a soft little wave. So like I said, you can do any, you know, any color change that you want. Just keep repeating the pattern over and over. And I'm just going to trim the whole thing out with single crochet when I'm done. So nothing fancy. I really want to keep the ripples. Oh, but I do want to show you the cute book that I found to make a gift in case you need an idea. So this is a little book that I found on Amazon, The Pout Pout Fish. It's been around for a couple years, I think. What does it say? Yeah, a lot of years, 2008. But it's adorable. It's the cutest little story. And I thought it went kind of well with the little sand and the waves, and it would match. So I love gifting books to go with my blankets when I'm giving my nieces or anybody a baby gift. So anyway, good luck. This is, again, it's a free download on yarnspirations.com. I will have all the links to my blog post, and the link will take you straight to this pattern. Super easy to print off, skill level easy, and it's just a one-page printable, so you can have it super easy. All right, thank you so much for stopping by. Good luck on your Ocean Waves blanket. We'll see you next time.